Let's chant one round of japa with Srila Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांता स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's session of Srimad Bhagavatam for all. We'll recite Bhagavad Gita Sloka, Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 9, text 24, I believe. Yeah. Anyone needs to go first? Okay, we'll just go in order then. Achit Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada, Jai Brahman.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhakta cha prabhuhi vachan nato mam abhijananti tatvena natas chavantiti. Translation. Translation. I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Achintadev Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Please repeat, Prabhuji. Aham hi sarva yajnanam
Aham hi sarva yajnanam
bhokta cha prabhureva cha
bhokta cha prabhure evacha
natu mam abhijananti
natu mam abhijananti
tatve natascha vantite
tadve na chaivantite
tatve natascha vantite.
tatvainatas chavantite.
Yeah. Thank you.
Translation: I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Krishna. Aditi Lata Mataji and Arunit.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Aham hi sarvam yajnanam bhukta cha prabhureva cha natu mam abhijananti tatventas tatvenantas
Chavantite.
Translation: I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha natu mam abhijananti tatve nataschayan chavantite.
Yes.
I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Inba and Nya are here? No. Madhava?
Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhukta cha prabhureva cha natu mam abhijananti tatvena tasya vantite. I'm the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down.
Yeah. Kalpesh Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances.
Is it-
Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhur evacha natu mam abhijananti tatvenatas chayantite. Translation: I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Medha and Usha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha natu mam abhignananti tatvenantas chavantite. Translation: I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Medha?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha natu mam abhijananti tatvena tascha vantite. Translation: I'm the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down.
Yes. Priyanka Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Please
Krishna.
accept my humble obeisances, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha natu mam abhijananti tatvenataschavantite. I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Thank you.
Thank you. So next, Saujanya Mataji and Pragna are here. No. Suvarnangi Mataji, Suhrit Spurti, Shiv Kumar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Namaskar, Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavad Pranam Prabhuji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha natu mam abhijananti tatve na tastu chaivanti te. Translation: I am the only enjoyer and the master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavad Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavad Pranam Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhurev cha natu mam abhijananti tatve na tastu chavanti te. Translation: I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you. The children are not there? Okay.
So, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Aham hi sarva
Yajnanam.
Bhokta cha prabhurev cha nantu mam abhijanati jananti tatvenantasya chavantite. Translation: I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Did anyone not recite yet? Everyone has recited. Okay. So you remember what is the verse that we learned before this? 923. Okay, we'll just go back and look at it. 923 said, those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do it in a wrong way. Avidhi Purvakam, right? So this verse is saying, that means first Krishna said, those who are worshipping other gods, nothing is separate from me. The demigods are also my energy only, my Shakti only. So nothing is outside of me. So indirectly they're worshipping me only. By worshipping the demigods, they're worshipping me. But is it a recommended way? No. Avidhi Purvakam, Krishna said. So that how that Avidhi Purvakam, that is further being explained in this verse. So Krishna is saying, I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. That means, yes, performing sacrifices and worshipping the different demigods is also me only, but in an indirect way. That's not the proper way. The proper way is to know that I am the actual enjoyer. I am the master of all sacrifices. Those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature. So it's not that that is also my worship. So anyone who worships like that will also get the same destination. It's not like that. So here, what are the different types of worshippers of other gods did we see so far? You remember the different types of worshippers of other gods? Can you name a few? For example, we said Vishwarupa Upasaka, right? Vishwarupa Upasaka means they're worshipping everything, saying that this is the Supreme Lord. But they're worshipping everything, everyone. All the demigods put in one place, and this is the Supreme Lord. And then they're worshipping. What are the other types?
I don't remember the name of that term of that Mataji, but another one is who worship the demigod thinking they are the supreme.
Correct. Worshipping the demigod that they are the supreme, or they see as this is a vibhuti of the supreme. So there's two types there. Which one are you saying?
I'm saying who think they are the supreme.
They are the highest. Yeah, that is a karmi.
Hmm.
That is a karmi. And then there's another one called Pratikopasaka. Pratika Opasaka means that he seeing two, right? They're seeing the supreme, and not two. Pratikopasaka means separate, right? They're seeing this particular demigod. They're actually worshipping the Supreme Lord, but they see the Supreme Lord in this form.
Like sun.
Like sun. The sun is Lord Narayan, Surya Narayan, like that. And they worship the sun. That is so like this, we saw different types of worshippers. Here specifically, we are looking at the karmis, like the one you said. Karmi means somebody who's thinking this Surya is the supreme. There's no one beyond this. All my desires will be fulfilled by him only. He will give me whatever I want. He is the Supreme Lord. Not that the Supreme Lord is Narayan and this is that Narayan. No, there's no concept of Narayan. In fact, sometimes they even see Narayan as, competitors or someone subordinate like that. So what is the result of such people? Tatve natas chavantite, right? Natu mam abhijananti tatve natas chavantite. If you don't recognize the true transcendental nature of the Lord, then what is the result? They will fall down, Krishna is saying. So this is the connection from the previous verse. So further we can discuss in the next few days. I just wanted to tell you the connection. So now we can read Srimad Bhagavatam. Oh, Inya Inba, you didn't recite. Go ahead. 924.
Yes, Mataji. Aham hi sarvayajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha natumam abhijananti tatvena taschyavanti te. I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Inba is there?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhu eva cha natumam jananti tatvena
Chavantite. Yeah.
Chavantite. Translation: I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down.
Correct. Mataji, Prabhuji are there?
No, Mataji.
Okay. Just one more point here in this verse is they fall down means what? They fall down means they don't get liberation. Once again, they have to take birth in this world. You don't get liberation. Why they don't get liberation? Because they are lacking Paramatma Jnana. They are lacking Paramatma Jnana. Because this particular demigod is not Paramatma. Only Kshirodakashaya Vishnu is Paramatma. So anyone who lacks this knowledge that Lord Vishnu is the Supreme, they will not get liberation. They will not get liberation. Sometimes you will hear this, not sometimes, quite often you will hear this, that this is also that you worship anyone, it's the same thing, right? The same Lord, you worship this demigod, or whatever, everything is the same. You follow your path, I'll follow my path, it will all roads lead to Rome. Is it like that? That whichever path you take, ultimately everyone will get liberation? No, you won't get liberation. There's a condition. Why the Pratikopasaka will get liberation? Why Vishwarupopasaka will get liberation? And why Karmi will not get liberation? What is the difference? The Pratikopasaka and Vishwarupopasaka have this Paramatma Jnanam, that Vishnu is the Supreme. Only they are not seeing Vishnu in that form, they are seeing in other things. Okay. And then now you may say, but Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am the taste of water, I am this, you should see him in everything. So this Vishwarupopasaka, he is seeing the Lord in everything. Then why we don't consider him a pure devotee? Why you call him a Vishwarupopasaka? Because he is still worshipping the material forms only. He is not able to worship the transcendental Satchidananda Vigraha form. He is seeing Lord Vishnu only in material things. Rather, a devotee, when he sees the material things, he recognizes
As soon as you see the sun, it will remind him of the beautiful Sham Sundar form of Krishna. When he hears the sound, any sound, he remembers this is the energy of my beautiful Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu, or whichever form is your Ishta. He will remember. That's a devotee, Bhakta. Right? And Vishwarupa Upasaka, these are all different types of worshippers. They only see that sun. This is Lord Narayan. But they don't know what is the actual form of Lord Narayan. But they understand this is Narayan. Understand. But worse, the least of all is the, what do you call, Karmi. Because he does not have Paramatma Gyan. He does. So that is what is said in Tattve natas chavantite. Tattva say they don't understand the Lord in truth, his position in truth. And if they don't understand, and they don't give him that position also. So they will not get liberation, they will fall down. Although the previous verse said that worship is also my worship, but still it is me who am the Prabhu, the master and the enjoyer of all sacrifices. Vidhi Purvakam is to offer it to me directly. Avidhi Purvakam is you offer to this demigod, that demigod, and of course, when you offer it to the demigod, it goes to Lord Vishnu. And then the results that you are expecting from that sacrifice are also coming from Lord Vishnu, but they're coming through that demigod. It is Avidhi Purvakam. And what is the result of that type of worship? You don't get liberation. That's the point. Okay. Now, examples other than the sun as Narayan, many, Mataji. Indra, someone can worship Indra, somebody can worship Surya, Surya I gave you, and someone can worship any particular demigod. If people are worshipping that particular demigod, because they think this is the Supreme Lord. Generally, examples given are of Indra. Somebody is worshipping Indra, or somebody, we don't know how many different types of worshippers are there, in tribals also, they have so many types of worship. But they think this is, sometimes they even worship a tree, right? Like they just worship some banyan tree. This is Lord Vishnu only. If you see this as an expansion of the Lord, that is Vishwarupa Upasaka, right? As the Lord. Yeah, that's what you're asking, Vishwarupa Upasaka, or you're asking Pratika Upasaka. Yeah,
Pratikopasaka Mataji. Yeah. So like how it is different from the Karmi one and this, how to differentiate, like, because if like you give the example of sun as there's worshipping as Narayana, Indra as so they are worshipping Indra as a Narayana or Indra as the supreme god.
They are worshipping Lord Narayan. See, Pratikopasaka, he doesn't worship so many different. He has only one, like Ekeha Kurunandana type. So he sees only his Ishtadev, and his understanding is, this is Lord Narayan. I'm worshipping Lord Narayan. I'm worshipping, he doesn't see Indra as the energy, as the Vibhuti of Narayan.
Okay.
Or even if he sees Indra as a Vibhuti of Narayan, he only sees Narayan in Indra form. He is not worshipping Narayan. So that is the difference I'm saying. The difference between a devotee who, like, we also respect demigods. When we go and bow down before demigods, what is our understanding? This demigod is a Vibhuti, because Krishna says, right, of all the demigods, I am Indra. So, Indra is a representative of the Lord. This Shakti by which he is ruling, this is Lord Narayan Shakti. So we bow down before him. That's one. But Pratikopasaka, this is Lord Narayan. This is my Narayan. And he's just worshipping Narayan. He's not seeing that this is the Vibhuti of Lord Narayan. And therefore, even if he sees this as Vibhuti of Narayan, that is what he's worshipping. He's not worshipping Narayan. He's only worshipping this Vibhuti. That is Pratikopasaka. You're asking the difference from Karmi. Karmi has no concept of Narayan. He sees Indra is the supreme, the living entity Indra. Whereas the Pratikopasaka is saying, this is Narayan. He's not seeing the living entity Indra. He's not worshipping the living entity Indra. He's actually worshipping Narayan in that particular form. So the difference between Pratikopasaka, Vishwarupapasaka is both are worshipping Narayan. But Vishwarupapasaka is worshipping everything as Narayan. Pratikopasaka is worshipping only one particular deity as Narayan in this world, a material form. Right? Demigods are material forms only. One particular material form, he sees this as Narayan and he worships Lord Narayan. The point is, this Pratikopasaka, Vishwarupopasaka have Paramatma Jnanam. They know that Lord Narayan is the supreme, but they see Lord Narayan in this particular form. They don't recognize Lord Narayan in his Shankha Chakra Gada Padma in his Vishnumurti form. They don't recognize him like that. How is this possible? We cannot conceive how somebody can
Yeah.
think like that. We cannot think because we are not there, you see. But their understand, for whatever reason, maybe that's all, they're exposed to whatever, but they only see that form as Narayan. This is Narayan. So the easiest to understand is Surya Dev, people who are worshipping. But this is not only with Surya. They can worship any particular demigod in that way. Every day, very faithfully, like you are my. Let's take for, even the impersonalists, let's take, right? They don't know the form, but very faithfully. Impersonalist means I'm not talking about, impersonalist. They don't know. It's not Mayavada. Mayavada means after knowing also they reject. You are in a place, or you're born in a place, or in such a place, you're not exposed to the Lord in any way, in any form, but you have this feeling that there is a supreme. So you just, like, I don't want to take any names, but some faiths they worship, right? They just close their eyes and they worship God. But what is his form? What is his name? We don't know. But you have that faith. You're still worshipping, isn't it? So like that, somebody has faith in one particular form. That is all they know. That is all they know. And this is the Supreme Lord. Their intention, Bhavagrahi Janardana, their intention is not this Indra who is, he has this history, that history, and, not that living entity. They're not worshipping that living entity, Pratikopasaka. But Karmi, he's worshipping that living entity as all in all. That's why Yanti Deva Vrata Devan, it is said. Karmi will go to that Indra's planet because he's actually worshipping Indra, the living entity, that Devata he's worshipping. So he will go to Indra's planet. And then at the time of annihilation, when Indra's planet is finished, then he will come back to this world.
Yes, Mataji. I can.
Clear, huh?
Thank you. Yes, Mataji. Yeah, clear. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what Krishna is saying here, because sometimes people may think that, Krishna said everything is my worship only. So yeah, we can do anything. No problem. But the point is, he said it is avidhi purvakam. So that's why it is avidhi purvakam, he's further explaining here. So this has to be clearly taught. Otherwise, they'll say, yeah, anything is fine. Generally, right? You do your thing, we are doing everything, everything is fine, we are all going. No, we are all not going to the same place. Everyone is not going to the same place. That's the point. Of course, the Vishwarupapasakas, Pratikopasakas are counted amongst devotees only. They are all getting liberation. Proper Vishwarupapasakas. There's faulty Vishwarupapasakas also. So there's a lot of variety. So that's why we have to know scrutinizingly so that we don't commit offenses also, actually. We have to know scrutinizingly what are the different types, because especially here also you see different forms of worship, and in India you'll find many varieties of worshippers, and you just put everyone under in one basket. They're all Mayavadis, they're all Karmis. No, not necessarily. Somebody who's also worshipping a particular demigod may not be a Karmi, may be a devotee, either a Pratikopasaka or Vishwarupopasaka. That means he has understanding. Generally, you see worshippers of Lord Shiva, they may have that. But at the same time, they may not be that also. They may be karmis. So for you to know whether he's actually having that Paramatma Jnanam or not, you have to study their consciousness. What is their consciousness? Right? Yeah. As soon as you bring the name of Lord Vishnu, if they start talking like this is a competitor of that particular demigod, you understand this is a karmi. It's a karmi. Because the Vishwarupa Upasaka and Pratika Upasaka's purpose is to worship the Supreme Lord, and they recognize Lord Vishnu as the Supreme. But somehow or other, they have attachment to worshipping that Lord in this form. So there, if we go and if we say, you're going to hell and this and that, that's not nice. It's not correct. We shouldn't do that. Yeah, the other day we were at Walmart and one Christian person came up and he, out of nowhere, I was walking, he stopped me and the others were still in the store. I was outside. I guess because I wear my tilak and my dress and everything, it kind of catches attention. So he just came up to me and he put something in my hand. And as soon as I saw it, I understood. And immediately he started saying, do you know that Vishnu is not God and this and that? And he was taking names of Radha, Krishna and everything. And I was like, wow. And he said, I went and I did all this. I did all these things. And finally, I realized the truth that, Jesus is the way. And he went on and on and on. Any of you who have an experience, And I was just listening, trying to understand what is his consciousness. Of course, my husband came and he said, he interrupted in the sense, he took over and then he started, because really you cannot preach to them. They don't want to hear. They just want to, and then he was saying, because then my kids came and they all had tilak. He said, they're all going to hell. They're all going to hell for not worshipping Jesus like that. So that's why I'm saying that, it's not that. So we have to really understand what is the consciousness of the person, right? Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam. Chapter 20. Yes, so we were doing one verse, remember? So yesterday, Bali Maharaj begins to speak. Bali Maharaj, after listening to Shukracharya, first of all, he deliberated on the whole situation and then he begins to speak. He's already made up his mind. I cannot follow this Guru's instruction because he's preaching to me against surrendering everything to the Supreme Lord. And then he says, my dear Gurudev, you said that we should not accept that religious principle which actually affects our sense gratification, our reputation, our opulence, our religious principles, and family members' satisfaction. So we shouldn't take up. You're right, I agree. And what does he mean? That means everything is meant. The highest religious principle is to surrender everything to the Supreme Lord for his pleasure. That is the highest religious principle. Anything which is putting an obstacle in this principle, you should reject. So there is a principle also that I should be obedient to Guru, but by following that, I'm actually affecting my highest principle, which is to surrender everything to the Lord. So I must reject this. I must reject you. That's what Bali Maharaj is saying. So now, next verse, text 2. That's what we read yesterday. Bali Maharaj said, as you have already stated, the principle of religion that does not hinder one's economic development, sense gratification, fame, and means of livelihood is the real occupational duty of the householder. I also think that this religious principle is correct. Next. So today is Aditi Lata Mataji and Arunita's turn. Sachaham vitta lobhena pratyachakshe katham dvijam pratishrutya dadamiti prahradihi kitavo yatha. Translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Arunita.
I am the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. How can I withdraw my promise because of greed for money when I have already said that I shall give this land? How can I behave like an ordinary cheater, especially toward a Brahmana?
Yeah, Mataji, purport. Aditi Lata Mataji.
Bali Maharaj had already been blessed by his grandfather Prahlad Maharaj. Therefore, Therefore, he was a pure devotee, although born in a family of demons. There are two kinds of highly elevated devotees, called Sadhana Siddha and Kripa Siddha. Sadhana Siddha refers to one who has become a devotee by regular execution of the regulative principles mentioned in the Shastras as ordered and directed by the spiritual master. If one regularly executes such devotional service, he will certainly attain perfection in due course of time. But there are other devotees who may not have undergone all the required details of devotional service, but who, by the special mercy of Guru and Krishna, the spiritual master and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, have immediately attained the perfection of pure devotional service. Examples of such devotees are the Yagyapatnis, Maharaj Bali, and Sukdev Goswami. The Yagyapatnis were the wives of ordinary Brahmanas engaged in fruitive activities. Although the Brahmanas were very learned and advanced in Vedic knowledge, they could not achieve the mercy of Krishna Balaram, whereas their wives achieved complete perfection in devotional service, despite their being women. Similarly, Vairochani, Bali Maharaj, received the mercy of Prahlad Maharaj, and by Prahlad Maharaj's mercy, he also received the mercy of Lord Vishnu, who appeared before him as the Brahmachari beggar. Thus, Bali Maharaj became a Kripa Siddha because of the special mercy of both Guru and Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirms this favor. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 19.151. Bali Maharaj, by the grace of Prahlad Maharaj, got the seed of devotional service, and when that seed developed, he achieved the ultimate fruit of that service, namely love of Godhead. Prema Pum Artho Mahan. Immediately upon the appearance of Lord Vamandev, Bali Maharaj, no, Vamandev, Bali Maharaj regularly maintained devotion for the Lord, and because he was purified, the Lord appeared before him. Because of unalloyed love for the Lord, he then immediately decided, I shall give this little dwarf Brahmana whatever he asks from me. This is a sign of love. Thus, Bali Maharaj is understood to be one who received the highest perfection of devotional service by special mercy. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. So, what is Bali Maharaj saying further? I am the grandson of Maharaj Prahlad. How can I withdraw my promise because of greed for money? When I have already said that I shall give this land, I already gave my word to him. How can I go back on my word? And that too for what? Out of greed for money, just because I want to keep my wealth, my property. For that, I'm going to go back on my word. Who am I? I am the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj, how much his father tortured him. Did he ever give up chanting the names of the Lord? His principle, right? What is his religious principle? His religious principle is pure devotional service. Did he give it up under any circumstances? And just for the sake of greed for money, being Prahlad Maharaj's grandson, how can I do that? How can I go back on my word? And that too to whom? To a Brahmana, right? So it is understood. Dharma, you cannot cheat a Brahmana. If you cheat a Brahmana, it is very sinful. How can I behave like an ordinary cheater? And that too towards a Brahmana. Like that. So what is Srila Prabhupada saying? Especially because it is said, I am the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. Grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. So here Srila Prabhupada is explaining there are three types of devotees who have achieved perfection. Right? Somebody who achieves perfection in devotional service. Siddha means perfection. He got perfection. So somebody gets perfection by sadhana. That means practicing sadhana bhakti. Somebody gets perfection simply by mercy. And then there's third type called Nitya Siddha. They are eternally Siddhas. So there is Sadhana Siddha, Kripa Siddha, and Nitya Siddha. Nitya Siddha means they never fell down. They are eternally in the spiritual world. They're always eternally. Yeah, there's no question of coming under the illusion of the material energy. They never come under the illusion of the material energy. Like Krishna does not come under the illusion, right? The illusion is, illusory energy is his energy. Of course, it is not their energy, these Nitya Siddhas, but by dint of their pure devotional service, Maya has no jurisdiction over them. Maya has jurisdiction only here on the conditioned souls. Achut Priya Mataji.
Mataji, Nitya Siddha means Goswamis, right?
Mataji, Nitya Siddha means?
Goswamis, Mataji.
Goswamis are Nitya Siddhas, yes, because they all have their identities. Not the Goswamis certainly, but also all the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You read in Gauraganodesha Deepika of Srila Kavikarnapura, he gives the identities of all the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Goloka, who are there in Goloka. Either they are some gopis or manjaris like that. That means they're all Nitya Siddha devotees. When the Lord comes to perform pastimes, they also come. Arjun is Nitya Siddha devotee, like that, the Pandavas. So Nitya Siddha devotees, they don't, they are not under the influence. And sometimes Krishna can put, like Arjun, Krishna put him under bewilderment for a particular purpose, right? That's a different thing. So they don't have to practice sadhana in order to get perfection, in order to come out of the effect of the illusory energy. No, they don't need special mercy so to come out of this illusion. No, they're not an illusion at all. And if they are forgetful, that is by the arrangement of the Lord, so that for the sake of the pastime, if the Lord has some mission for that. So when all these, it is said again and again in Chaitanya Leela that all these associates, they took birth in different families all over, but they were not thinking we are Nitya Siddhas. No, they're just thinking we are Brahmanas. But the quality in all of them is they all have that love for the Lord, right? They all get like iron filings getting attracted to magnet. They're all getting pulled towards Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, so that's one category that's not being discussed here, Nitya Siddha. What is being discussed is Sadhana Siddha and Kripa Siddha. Sadhana Siddha means, don't think Sadhana Siddha does not need Kripa. Not like that. Even Sadhana Bhakti also needs Kripa. Without Kripa, we cannot. How do we get entrance into Ananya Bhakti? Somehow or other, if one devotee introduces us to Krishna consciousness, that's the only way. That's the only way. So, yeah. But, and also Guru, from time to time, Guru has to give us Kripa. Why? Because we have these big anarthas. So first of all, you take shelter of Guru, and then Guru gives you the procedure for sadhana. You should, follow the 4 regulative principles and chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, rise early in the morning, do Mangalarti, do this seva, like that. He gives you. And you follow that. So, especially the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, by doing that, you are removing, not you are removing, the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is removing the anarthas in your heart. But there are certain anarthas which are very, very powerful. On your own, by your sadhana, you cannot remove them. Then the spiritual master will come. He will remove those anarthas by his power. So kripa is needed. He has to give kripa. Otherwise, we cannot make progress. But still they're called sadhana siddha bhaktas. Why? Because the spiritual master is giving these, you follow this, and if you follow, then yes. If you don't follow, then who's to be blamed? You cannot blame the spiritual master. You cannot blame the spiritual master. Taking Diksha means, now I have surrendered my life and I will follow the way the Guru is asking me to live. If I don't follow the Guru's instruction, is it the Guru's fault? It's not. Right? So that is sadhana. And then by following that sadhana, when we get perfection, right, we go through all these different stages. Anartha nivritti means most of your unwanted anarthas are removed. Now you become fixed and steady. in Nishtha. Nishtha means 24/7. You have only one meditation, serving Krishna. And that is reflected obviously where that's the highest meditation, right? 24/7. If you're not able to meditate, then you're endeavoring. At least that has to be there. And if you're not able to endeavor to think of Krishna all the time, at least you'll engage in Shravanam, Kirtanam. Yeah, I'm not able to think, but I will like listen to lectures all the time, or I'll try to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra all the time with my lips, or I'll practice. Sadhana means practice. I'll practice in the back of my mind. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra is always going on no matter what I'm doing. Like this. This is sadhana. But if you have too many anarthas and the mind is, you cannot do anything with the mind, right? Bringing it to Krishna because it's all so distracted, disturbed. Then it is said you do this 24/7. You do Shravanam, Kirtanam, Archanam, Mandiram, Arjanam, making garlands. You can do all this, but be connected with Krishna through this. You are not able to do that also. Then you work, whatever work you're doing, you work and offer that result to Krishna. And then because you didn't get full Shraddha yet, and then side by side you also chant whatever you're able to chant and build it, and do some archanam, do some all these other devotional activities. By doing those devotional activities, my heart will be purified, anarthas will be removed to some extent, and now I can start once again trying to meditate on Krishna, right? Meditate means try to remember Krishna, like that. But even if I don't try to with my mind, even if I don't try, if I sincerely do Shravanam, Kirtanam, simply if I stick to that principle, and of course Archanam and all the others, if you do strictly, by this itself, automatically you can get Smaranam also, eventually you can get. So the point is, by sadhana bhakti you'll get perfection. Someone who gets perfection by sadhana bhakti, he's called a sadhana siddha bhakta. But there's a special category called kripa siddha. Kripa siddha means you have actually not undergone all those steps. You have not. All the conditions are not fulfilled, but you have pleased the Lord or his devotee. So if you please the devotee, devotee means, of course, that devotee also should have that type of power, right? That we already discussed in the past. Sadhu, the mercy, it depends, right, on in his influence, how much influence he has, and how much mercy. Someone who may have that much Shakti, Bhakti Shakti, but he may not have that much mercy to share it with everyone. He may not have that, right? Like, there is Bhajananandis, right? They are interested always in bhajan. They get taste, they have power, but they don't have that compassion for the whole world. Prahlad Maharaj is not Bhajananandi, Goshtanandi, right? He says, let me stay here and let me deliver all these people in this world. I don't want to go back and just do bhajan all the time. I want to deliver all these foolish, ignorant people. Srila Prabhupada in the same mood. So, yeah. So such devotees, if you are able to please somebody who has that type of bhakti shakti, such powerful devotees, somehow if you have pleased, then even though you may not complete all the conditions, satisfy all the conditions for sadhana bhakti, because you have pleased that devotee, now when you please the devotee, Krishna is pleased. Krishna is pleased because this devotee is very dear to Krishna. Then Krishna can give you, he can give you perfection even without fulfilling all the conditions. So there are some devotees who very much pleased Srila Prabhupada in the initial days of struggle. One is George Harrison. Srila Prabhupada wrote in the foreword, if you open Krishna book, you will see. Srila Prabhupada says, this nice boy, about George Harrison. And at the time of leaving this world, Srila Prabhupada remembered George Harrison. He was so pleased with His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. He risked his life to preach in Eastern Europe, where there was the Iron Curtain. So he would go and he would preach there, staying incognito, not showing that, because it was not legal there to follow any religious system. But he would go there in the guise of, like a professor or somebody like that. Like he would go to place the books in the libraries of universities. And how much austerity he did for that. Srila Prabhupada, the last time he went to London, at that time Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj's name was Ghanashyam. He was a brahmachari. So Srila Prabhupada went and embraced. He had tears in his eyes. And he took out the ring from his finger and he gave him. How much he was pleased. Who else? Many devotees. How much Srila Prabhupada is pleased with them. Right? He said about His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. He gave him the order. So even if we don't fulfill all, it's not that, see, willingly. Now, you may say, okay, then I will please the Guru and I won't follow all the conditions. But what is, somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, what is most pleasing to you? Right? Because there are different types of services. Somebody is doing archana, somebody is doing book distribution, somebody is doing cooking, right? Somebody is raising a family, right? Like educating children, let's say. Yeah, Gurukulas, they would do. So much, and then they're printing books. So which one is most dear to you, Prabhupada? So they were expecting, probably Srila Prabhupada would say, book distribution is the dearest service to me. What makes you most happy? Srila Prabhupada said, when you love Krishna, when you chant Hare Krishna, that's most pleasing to him. When we all chant Hare Krishna, that's most pleasing. And you see, Guru won't expect anything which is different from our parampara, and the parampara won't expect anything which is different from what the Supreme Lord himself desires. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give us this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He started this Sankirtan movement. So whatever else we do, we should understand the whole purpose of our preaching and everything is to induce everyone to develop this taste for chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That we cannot sacrifice. So everything else, why we are doing book distribution and all this, so that people can chant Hare Krishna. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that simply, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Namaiva Kevalam Kalau Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatiranyata. So the chanting is very, very important. And that is very pleasing. That's the dearest thing to Srila Prabhupada. So if I want to please Srila Prabhupada, it's not that only when Srila Prabhupada was personally present. This is a material idea. That, oh, Prabhupada was there and I was able to please Srila Prabhupada. Now I don't have that opportunity. That's not at all a spiritual understanding. To this day, you will find so many devotees who are, you can feel the mercy flowing to them through the parampara in their presence. And they have never seen. They are like third generation, fourth generation, even after Srila Prabhupada. So when we take to the process, then that mercy we can please. So Guru Krishna Kripaya Pai, right? So you get the mercy of Guru. So you please the Guru. And when the Guru is pleased with you, then Krishna is pleased. And when Krishna is pleased, what is not possible, right? If Krishna is pleased, then your job is done. Your job is done. So the best way to please Krishna is to please those who are sincerely, who are dear to Krishna. Try to please those who are dear to Krishna. How do you know who is dear to Krishna? Somebody who is very seriously endeavoring to follow the instructions given by Krishna and his devotees. So if we somehow or other please, then that devotee may or may not be able to give anything to you. But it's like a child, the rich man's son, right? Rich man's son may not be able to, but if you please him, then you get all the mercy of the rich man. So like that, you serve the devotee, you please the devotee, make the devotee happy somehow. Mercy comes from Krishna. So in the case of Yagya Patnis, of course, it was directly from Krishna. They took, you remember in Krishna book, Krishna and the cowherd boys were in the forest. They were hungry. And they said, oh, Krishna, we are hungry. So Krishna said, nearby some Brahmanas are doing Yagya. And for that Yagya, they have prepared so many items. You go and ask them food preparations. You go and ask them, tell them Krishna, Balram are nearby in the forest. Please give us some prasadam. They are hungry. Some bhoga. They are hungry. So the boys went. What did the brahmanas say? Go away from here. We are busy, right? And besides, it has to be offered in the yajna. Go, go, go. You kids go away. They became sad. They went back to Krishna. What did Krishna say? This is the position of the beggars, right? You cannot expect that when you go to beg, everyone will immediately give you and welcome you. And no, beggars means you should be prepared that you'll be rejected. Maybe even you'll be, uh, driven away from that place. When you go for book distribution, sometimes even you go to ask for some donation, or for sometimes prasadam distribution, meaning you take some donation. Sometimes people appreciate it, sometimes they don't. But as devotees we should be prepared. So Krishna is saying, yeah, don't expect that always everyone will be very favorable. But now you go back, this time you ask their wives. And how did the wives respond? They said Krishna and Balaram are nearby in the forest. So they were the ones cooking all these items, right? So immediately they filled their baskets with all the food preparations, and they ran to Krishna Balaram to give all the offerings. And Krishna Balaram were very pleased. And they said, now you go back to your husbands. They were like, oh my God, they're not going to accept us back. No, they will accept you. You go back. I'm very pleased with you. And they went back. The Brahmanas were like, to hell with our sacrifice and this and that. The whole purpose of doing all this is to please the Supreme Lord, and we have failed there. And our wives, who are not educated, simple people living at home and cooking and cleaning, they are more advanced than us. Without studying all the Vedas and everything, they are so advanced. The purpose of all the studying of all the Vedas is to come to the point of devotional service. They got it even without all this study and yagyas and pujas and everything. And we didn't get that. Of course, they worshipped. They took them back and they worshipped their wives. So the Yagyapatnis, they are Kripa Siddha. How they got that? They got that by Kripa. Srila Prabhupada is explaining in the purport here. See, one second, Mataji. So here it is said about the Yagyapatnis. Kripa, we are talking about the Kripa Siddhas. So here, particularly, we are talking about Bali Maharaj. So Bali Maharaj got Kripa from Prahlad Maharaj. That's the context here. Bali Maharaj said, I am the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. How can I act like this? That means Bali Maharaj, who is the son of Virochana. Virochana is the son of Prahlad Maharaj. Virochana did not become a devotee. Did you know that? Bali Maharaj's father, who is the direct son of Prahlad, he didn't become a devotee. But his son became a devotee. How he became a devotee? He is also born in the Asura family because he got the kripa of Prahlad Maharaj. You may say, how can Prahlad Maharaj give kripa to his grandson and not to his son? Why not? Who will question him? Is this a rule or something? Mercy you can give to anyone you like. That is the position of a Madhyama Bhakta. Madhyama Adhikari means that is his right, and in fact, that is his definition. The definition of a Madhyama Bhakta is he can give kripa to anyone he likes. Nobody can question. And to whomever he gives kripa, the Lord will, his kripa will follow. His kripa will follow. The Lord will give kripa to the person to whom such a devotee gives kripa. Prahlad Maharaj gave kripa to Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj became a devotee. And who are the other examples of kripa siddhas like that? So either you get mercy from the Lord or you get mercy from the devotees. The Yagyapatnis are example. Yagyapatnis were the wives of ordinary Brahmanas engaged in fruitive activities. Although the Brahmanas were very learned and advanced in Vedic knowledge, they could not achieve the mercy of Krishna Balaram, whereas their wives achieved complete perfection in devotional service despite their being women. That's all it is said. They got the mercy. That's why they were perfected. And Bali Maharaj also received mercy of Prahlad Maharaj. And by the mercy of Prahlad Maharaj, therefore Vamandev came. Because Krishna's mercy follows the devotee's mercy. That's the whole point we are discussing here. Krishna's mercy will only come through the devotee's mercy. So here also in the Yagyapatnis you can say they pleased the boys. They didn't offend the boys when they went and asked, isn't it? They immediately came. So the boys were pleased. So Krishna is pleased. Mercy of Krishna comes. It follows the mercy of his devotee. That's the point. That's all. Only one example is given, right, of the wives, brahmanas. Also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, where are we? 1 second. He achieved the ultimate fruit of that service, namely love of Godhead. Who got that? Okay, I'll just read this line here once again. Thus, Bali Maharaj became a Kripa Siddha because of the special mercy of both Guru. Who's Guru here? Prahlad Maharaj. And Krishna in the form of Vamandev. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirms this favor. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai. Bhakti Lata Bij. Right? You get this Bhakti Lata seed first by the mercy of Guru, and then by the mercy of Guru you get Krishna's mercy. Bali Maharaj, by the grace of Prahlad Maharaj, got the seed of devotional service. And when that seed developed, immediately upon the appearance of Lord Vamandev, that seed developed, he achieved the ultimate fruit of that service, namely love of Godhead. Seed you get from Guru, and the fruit that's coming from that seed is what? Love of Godhead. Immediately upon the appearance of Vamandev. When he got love of Godhead, after the appearance of Vamandev. That means the seed he got from Guru, that is Guru's mercy, and he got the fruit, prema, on the appearance of Vamandev. That means Vamandev gave it. So Vamandev's mercy came because he got mercy of Prahlad Maharaj. Bali Maharaj regularly maintained devotion for the Lord, and because he was purified, the Lord appeared before him also. Yeah. So he maintained. Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj is Kripa Siddha devotee. I don't understand, Mataji.
Mataji, you just said, right, Mataji? Like,
Which Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj you're asking? Pratap Rudra Maharaj. Which Maharaj you're asking, Mataji? In Chaitanya Charitamrita?
No. The Maharaj is coming today.
How I will know?
No, because Guru Maharaj is like that. The way you explained, I was just trying to understand. Sorry if it is not correct question.
I don't know. I cannot comment, Mataji. Kripa Maharaj is actually following now. He's following the sadhana bhakti process. And again, these things, you cannot judge another person. You have to study we can study we can study the science, the principles, right? What are the symptoms of each stage? So that we can study. And then if you want, then so first of all, first step one is to actually study and understand what is sadhana bhakti, what happens in Shraddha stage, what happens in Sadhu Sangha, what happens in Bhajana Kriya, what happens in Anartha Nivritti, like that, scrutinizingly studying the Shastra. And then now when you apply it to some particular person, you have to really spend time to see the consciousness, observe the person, and compare with what you studied, which qualities you're seeing, and then you can say, oh, maybe this person is in this level, that level, that level.
We can't do that.
We can't do that. That's what I'm saying. We can't do that. But from Shastra, where it is already said, generally, like from Bhagavatam, we'll give example of Ajamil, or here Yagyapatnis. So these are standard examples that are already spoken by Acharyas. We can repeat them and we can explain what Acharyas have said. And for ourselves, we can apply for ourselves and we can see, oh, this stage means these qualities are supposed to be there. I don't see these qualities. So I shouldn't be under ignorance thinking that I'm already in Prema Bhakti stage. I'm not there. What to speak of Prema Bhakti, I have not even gotten Shraddha yet. because I don't see all the symptoms 24/7. Am I actually endeavoring to be Krishna conscious, or there are so many gaps, or maybe little bit I'm doing and most of the time I'm not even doing bhakti? Then do I qualify? Like that I can apply to myself, but can I judge another person? No.
Yes, yes, thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Aditi Lata Mataji, sorry, go ahead. I wanted to finish the purport, so I didn't take it. Go ahead, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. I was almost forgetting what I was to ask. No, that is later. So this Brahmana and
Yagyapatnis.
Yagyapatnis. So though they didn't know that he's Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? Because they were covered by Yogamaya's potency, right? That is why. Even the Yagyapatni did not know. They did it because they loved Krishna and Balaram and they are hungry. That's why they quickly. I mean, if everyone knew that they are the actual Krishna for whom they are doing, they would have given, right? That's the difference.
No. And why they don't know, that's also another question. He's right there, why they don't know, and especially if
Because
you're a
of
Brahmana.
Yogamaya potency, no? Everyone is covered so that he can have.
Why everyone is covered? There's two types of covering. Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavrita. I don't show myself to everyone because they're not qualified. That's one level. And pure devotees he covers, that's a different thing. So you're saying they're all pure devotees, that's why Yogamaya covered them?
If they're in Goloka, they have to be.
They're not in Goloka. This pastime is here, no? Or at least Bhauma Vrindavan.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so they knew, you're saying, Mataji, they knew and they still did not give food to Krishna Balaram. They are worshipping for them only.
Yeah, they should know, right? They should know, but they're not giving. That means they are also, you can say, they're only seeing the yagya form and they're not recognizing Krishna. So that's also fault. Again, if you know Shastra, you can understand by principle that he is like how Vasudeva and Devaki know. They were always conscious. So there's two categories. There is Vaidhi Bhakti and there is Raganuga Bhakti. Raganuga Bhakti means spontaneous attraction for Krishna, not even considering that he is the Supreme Lord or what. You just have spontaneous love. That is Vraja Bhakti. Right? Devotees in Vraja, they have that love for Krishna, spontaneous love for Krishna. Vaidhi Bhakti means you understand this is the Supreme Lord and he has to be worshipped, he has to be treated like this. So if they're Brahmanas, they're doing yagyas for the Supreme Lord, that means they're obviously in Vaidhi Bhakti platform. So in Vaidhi Bhakti, they must know how should they worship the Supreme Lord. He is Krishna. And from Shastra, just like yesterday we were reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, they saw those symbols on the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Didn't they understand? I think these are the symbols on the lotus feet of Bhagavan. So they recognized, right? But at the same time, in their case, Yogamaya covered, so they're thinking, when they saw those footprints on the floor, they're thinking, oh, our Shaligram Shila is playing around. But when Sachimata saw, then, yeah, even after knowing all this, calling Nilambar Chakravarti, again they forget. That is Yogamaya. But that doesn't mean they are not, see, somebody who's on that level means already they have all this knowledge, but they are covered by Yogamaya for the sake of pastime. Is that the case in the Brahmanas? So there are different types of people living in Braja at that time. Those who are eternal associates, they are also there. Those who are not yet eternal associates, but now they had such aspiration to associate with the Lord in previous lives, so they also come there, and now they associate with eternal associates and they get trained by eternal associates, so they also get love through that association. That type of people are also there. So in the case of the Brahmanas, did they know that he is Krishna? I mean, that he is Bhagavan? That I'm not sure if they actually knew that he's Bhagavan or not. But nevertheless, they were willing to offer everything to the Lord, even at the risk of, their husbands getting mad. And even this is meant for Yagya, this is meant for Lord Vishnu. But nevertheless, they didn't mind. Their attraction for Krishna was so strong that they didn't mind even. So there itself we can see. That means they have love for Krishna. And love for Krishna is the highest thing. That's even beyond all knowledge and everything, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
First, Aishwarya is there, but when love is there, then Aishwarya also becomes an obstacle. Hatao. Like that. Those who are advanced devotees, they are not like the gopis. When they saw looking for Krishna, they saw Lord Narayan. They didn't say, "Oh, this is Krishna." No, pranam, and then they ran away looking for Krishna. Did you see Krishna? So love, when you are in that stage of love for Krishna, Aishwarya becomes very insignificant there, and Krishna cannot even maintain his Aishwarya. So they have this love, so they just rejected, offering something to Yagya superior to that. They are hungry, let us go. So they're on a much higher platform. How were they on that high platform? Because they're Kripa Siddhas. That is the point. But the same, their husbands were not able to think like that. That is the point here. Okay, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. I also, if you allow, I want to quickly share one thing which I read in Radhanath Swami's
Jani.
biography. Yes. Yesterday we were reading this Ghansham Baba. Have you heard of him?
Yes. Many times.
Ghansham Baba in Vrindavan. He is a like Uttama Adhikari. I never knew that this like we can actually see like this. I heard theoretically, but this felt like a practical I'm experiencing myself. Like when Radhanath Swami was taken by Shripad Baba to Ghansham Baba's place, and he saw that he's like that Uttamadhikari, they have this, they always think that I am your servant, I am going to serve you, please help, let me serve you, like that. And then whatever roti he used to get every day, 3 rotis for him. And that also he used to feed Radhanath Swami. And Radhanath Swami didn't know about that. One day, Shripad Baba, while he was taking bath, Shripad Baba said, "You are eating all the food of Ghansham Baba. That's why he's serving that poor man." And then he said, "Oh my God, I didn't know
He
that is
said,
the
he
only."
said for 3 days, did you know that for 3 days he has not eaten anything?
Yeah, and he was saying, I didn't know that. He was saying that this is he has his own food, and he was giving me these 3 rotis. And then after that also, whenever he went there, Ghansham Baba always fed him only, and he forced him to eat.
Yeah.
I mean, and did you also read Mataji the how
Blanket.
the TTs came? Did you?
Yes.
Oh my God, that is so, my goodness. He was just writing Radha, Radha, Radha on the sand, and that holy name became Radharani. He
Well,
found that
yeah.
as Radharani,
He,
and that
he would write Radha, and then
worship.
in the morning he would write in the morning, and that was his deity, and he would chant all day sitting in front of that. Every day, same place under the tree. And then in the evening, so that at night when people or animals walk, they shouldn't walk on her, he would clean it off, wipe it off. Next day morning again, he would come and he would write Radha, and he would sit and he would be chanting. And at the end of the day, he would wipe off. So one day when he was wiping off at the end, he saw something golden. And then he just moved further and he saw that was the head of Srimati Radharani.
Yes, oh my God. And then Krishna was also there, Vallava, Gopi,
Radha Gopi Janavallabha.
Gopi Jana Vallava. Oh my God.
There's
Is it still there?
also audio you can look, and there you will actually hear Maharaj. Actually, he becomes choked and he starts crying, speaking about Ghansham Baba.
Oh my God. Is the deity still there, Mataji?
Yes. So he was over 90, well over 90, when Prabhupada, I'm sorry, when His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj met. And the only reason that he was even living was because there was nobody to care for the deities. He was, for all those years, as a young man, he had come to Vrindavan and he got the deities. Single-handedly, he was worshipping them with no means of, no income, no temple, nothing. So one family allowed him to use their veranda. Veranda, it's just a corridor, and they had a closet, in the veranda where usually people would keep whatever buckets and brooms or whatever. They allowed him to use that for the deities. So in that corridor, he had those deities, in that cupboard kind of thing. And he would just sit there all day. He wouldn't leave the deities even for. That's why he couldn't even go to Barsana anywhere. Only once a day he would go to do Madhukari, and he would come and yeah, I don't know if he went or somebody brought, I'm not sure. But he never left those deities. Huh?
What is Madhukari?
Madhukari means to go begging. But the same families, there's 2-3 families, each family gave one roti like that every day. So that's the only time. Otherwise, he just stayed with them all day. And it was not like he would sleep. Either he would be fanning them or he would be singing to them all day. Something like keeping them, serving them in one way or the other, putting them to rest. One thing he would do every day, he was so old, but he would personally go to the Yamuna in the morning, fill up a big, like a metal bucket with water to bathe them. And it was so heavy for him, and he was so old, he could not continuously walk. He had to walk quite a distance to get that water. So with one hand, and then he would stop, and again he would pick up, and again like that. So Radhanath Maharaj would say that I'm young, I can just carry it. And he would say, no need, no need, no need. And then Maharaj insisted, and finally this Ghanshyam Baba had tears in his eyes, and he said that, please don't take this service away from me. This is the only service I have for my deities. Please don't take it away. He was crying literally, don't take. He was unable to do, but still, that was his service. He didn't want to give it up. And when Radhanath Maharaj saw how much it meant to him, he didn't. And then it would take him just walking that distance. I don't know how long it would take him, because he would just lift a little bit, put it down, lift a little. And he did it every day, this type of service for the deities. Now he's concerned what will happen, who will take care of the deities after he's gone. Therefore, he was not giving up his body. He was so old, well over 90, but he wouldn't give up his body. And finally, the next time when Maharaj came, so once Maharaj, he became sannyasi. That's when you will see Maharaj choked up, when he says that. And then he came back. So the first time he was a young teenager, Maharaj, and he was not an ISKCON devotee at that time when all these things happened. Later on, he went to New Vrindavan, and then after 10 years or something, he came back to Vrindavan. 10 years later, can you imagine? And then he was in ISKCON temple and everything, and he secretly, without telling anyone, he just snuck out to go and see Ghanshyam Baba and Gopi Jana Vallabha. And then he went there and he saw this old man sitting outside, on the steps in front of the house. Like this, he was sitting. And now he looked completely different, Radhanath Maharaj, because earlier he had these, dreadlocks, because he was like sadhu in the Himalayas. So he had all long hair. He looked completely different. And he was wearing white back then. Now he was a sannyasi, all shaved with, and he came and he just stood in front of him. 10 years later, you can imagine, right? Certainly there are changes, but he just looked, and all of a sudden he gave him a name because Maharaj was Richard. So he said, he used to call him Krishnadas. Ghanshyam Baba would call Ratin Krishnadas. So he said, he was just looking for some time, and all of a sudden he said, Ratin! And he had tears in his eyes. You are back. And when Maharaj said this, he really choked up and he was crying. And he came and he embraced. Gopi Jana Vallabha is so happy that you came back, and he brought him inside and all that, So that was the last time actually Maharaj saw. And he saw that he was. So the next time when Maharaj went again to India, because now he was he had his services, and that's a long story anyway. This is right after taking sannyas, he went to India. And then after that, when he came back, maybe it was the year after that, I don't know. And he was not there. And he went to the same house, and the closet, he saw that nobody was there in the closet. The deities were not there. They had some buckets and some brooms, and the same people, they were not there. So Maharaj was concerned, what happened? Where is Gopi Jana Vallabha and where is Ghanshyam? So he asked the family members, he said, where is Ghanshyam? And they said, Goloka. And then, where is Gopi Jana Vallabha? So then he found out that some trust came forward to take care of the deities Gopi Jana Vallabha. And now they had a proper temple, and he actually trained up some pujaris, younger pujaris, who will actually take the service of Gopi Jana Vallabha. He taught them how to do that. And there was a trust which made for the deities. That means the deities would be taken care of even if somebody is there or not. There's a trust created. So when Ghanshyam Baba actually saw that now Gopi Jana Vallabha is, everything is nicely, they will be taken care of. As soon as that situation was there, he left. So he was only living for the deities. As soon as everything was arranged for them, he left.
Where is the deity now, Mataji?
In Vrindavan only. It's a small temple, but it's there in Vrindavan. Gopijana Vallabha, if you check with them.
Why didn't ISKCON take it, Mataji, or Radhanath Swami Maharaj? Why didn't he take it?
This was in the initial days, Mataji, 80s, when Maharaj just got sannyas. At that time, he was actually, anyway, long story. I'll tell another time. Hare Krishna.
I also don't want to listen because I'm reading this book. I don't know how much they have.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, you read and also you can listen also. Maharaj tells all this in lecture, you can hear. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, sorry for holding up. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.